Yeah, man. So this is gonna be quite interesting. Hey, and like you said, it's gonna do something after the draft. Well, ladies and gentlemen, woo! For those of you that love this time of the year, draft is 2 weeks away. Will, did I tell you how again the calendar? I messed up on the calendar again.
Sean.
Yeah. I asked her this time. I said, Kat, I said, babe, what is the date when we're going to New Orleans, we're going to Jazz Fest. And I was like, what is the date? And she was like, it's in May. It's going to be around May. And I was like, all right, what is the date for it? You you kind of told me. Long story short, we leave on the 27th that Wednesday. We get back on the 3rd. Yeah. So the 28th will be the draft. I will be in New Orleans. I'm going to charge my phone. I will have my phone watching and being a part of anything I can. But we were going to have a good time. I look forward to it, Pumpkin.
You know, I will say this. I've been to New Orleans. Yeah. There are worse places in this world to be for the NFL draft and to be on vacation. So I am jealous of where you're going to be.
There you go.
I'm very jealous. I
am excited. The more I think about it, the closer it gets, the more excited I get. And just to have that time off, man. I've been working, back and forth my schedule, between the two jobs for a long time. And I always work my vacation around my schedule. So I don't really have to take vacations. I really don't ever take vacation. So to have this, take a full week off, nice. Kind of still manipulate, do some of the shows maybe, but just have my time, listen to some good jazz music for Jazz Fest in New Orleans. What?
Yeah. Oh,
yes.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I'm with that. But I will not be able to sit down with the notepad and, with the phone and the computer, like going over draft picks, things of that nature. All good. I love it, babes. But I nonetheless will be tuning in, and I cannot wait to see what we do. And we're going to be diving into the draft from this point on, just kind of talking about, where we want to go. What are the positions that are most important to us? And we're going to go kind of like we did with the mock draft. We're going to go position by position. Do we think this is of importance? How important is it? Do we want to go to this with this at the 11th pick, or is this something that either we don't need or get farther down? And Will, I think we have to start with a position that we kind of filled, but I don't know. Are we still looking at quarterback? Well, what do you think, man?
Yeah. So Ron said we will have a rookie quarterback on this team. And right now we've got Carson and we've got Heineke. So we have a position that we have a hole there, right? Especially for training camp, you're going to need someone. So yeah, by all means, we do need a quarterback. I don't think it's much of a priority anymore. And you're kind of looking more towards that drafting of, you're looking at a Nate Sudfeld type player. You draft him in the later rounds. This is someone you develop to be, his ceiling should be a backup. And I got somebody in mind for you, buddy. This is who I want to see. And I keep hearing that he may be sliding down is that right? Is right later in the draft, coming later in the draft. So I'm like, there's a chance. He's the former Badger, current Notre Dame quarterback. I want them to get Jack Cohn.
Yeah, I heard you talking about that.
Yeah, I think that he's someone that can develop. He's coming from a little bit, Wisconsin is more of that pro style type offense. I think he's someone that it'd be interesting. I think you're also looking at, I think he's Iowa State's quarterback. Is the last name Purdy, maybe? Yeah. There's also a guy, Ab would know who his name. The last name is, there it is, Zapp. There you go, Bailey Zapp. I think that could be the type of quarterback we're looking for. But yeah,
led the league in passing this year.
Did he? There you go. Yeah. What was he, like Cole Brennan?
Oh, he was throwing it. Western Kentucky. They lit it up in the bowl game. It was like 28 to like something at halftime. I think they ended up scoring 60. He was lightning up through the air. Good call on that one, man.
Yeah. So I do think we're going to get a quarterback. I just don't, 11 is out. Yeah. I hope it's not second or third round. I don't think you can do that right now. I think we need to go all in on Carson and see what we got.
Oh yeah. I like that. Yeah, I'm with that. And like to your point, as you had said a couple weeks ago, we don't want to bring somebody in that's going to get in Carson's head. If we already think Carson is kind of like, you know, we got him on this chip on my shoulder, let's move forward. Don't bring somebody that's going to be a threat to him, because, you know, that doesn't work in that motivation type. So I agree. Let's get somebody later. I like Cone. Zappy, I like as well. Another guy I've been watching for the last couple of years at Kent State, Dustin Crum. I like what he has. He had 4.7570 or 40 in the combine. I like him. I've watched him. I first started watching him. He was Kareem Hunt's last year. He was like a freshman or like a sophomore in that. So I've been watching him since then. If we're going later in the draft, because I agree, I'm finally letting it down. We're not going to get Howell unless he somehow falls to like the third or the fourth.
Right.
We're not getting him. So let's go for somebody that's kind of going to fit the system. And Crum is kind of like, he reminds me of Chase Daniel. Who's small. He's a little smaller guy, mobile, almost more accurate than I think a Heineke is. And I think somebody that can come in and run the offense. If Heineke can do it, I think he could do it. He's kind of similar, but in my opinion, he's a little bit better. But we'll see.
This is undrafted guy can do it.
We'll get it later on in the draft, so we shall see. Nice. But other than that, I don't really, you know what I mean, unless something like that happens or Carson Strong falls to that fourth or fifth. This is not a position I'm really focused on because of obviously the Carson Wentz getting that acquisition.
Right. Anton said I stole his pick. Anton, you got to tell me who that is.
Who'd you steal?
I don't know. I don't know who I mentioned. Which one of the guys he's eyeing? Is it Jack Cohn?
Is it Jack? Is he a moral support guy?
Yeah, he's a leader, big leader.
There you go. He's a locker room guy. There we go. Yo, let's move. Wait, let's see what he said. Oh, he does agree with you guys. Yeah, buddy. Let's move on to the running back position that me and Ab know very, very well. Look, we talked about it before the show. I like Gibson. Love McKissick coming back. McKissick is a dual threat guy. Jarrett Patterson, I think, is a project. And if we can mold him next couple of years, I can see Darren Sproles. I want a 3-down back, and Gibson to me is a every other down back. Like he can do it. I like what he's got. I want to go for a guy like a Kenneth Walker. I'm not saying if he's in that second round, if we can pick him up in that second round, I think that's a steal. Kenneth Walker out of Michigan State was a monster this year. You know what I mean? Would you like to speak on it, Catherine? We can hear you in here, Kat.
That mic is live.
Right. He was a monster, getting 5 touchdowns against Michigan, playing his butt off. I really, he was just a tough, hard-nosed runner. I think he could be a 3-down back for us. Definitely something to kind of like a downhill runner, and that I think was something that will be really good for us. So I like that. Another guy that I've watched all year that I think with his size might be a little more of a like a Darren Sproles or a LaShawn McCoy, Shady McCoy, Breece Hall.
Oh yeah,
Breece Hall at Iowa State. A lot of those guys, Iowa State, Purdy, Breece Hall, my guy Kohler at tight end. I'll talk about a little bit later. That offense was doing big things. Hutchinson at receiver, but Breece Hall was a monster. Scored a touchdown in I think a record number of games. At Iowa State, he broke a college NCAA record, if I'm not mistaken. I actually go look that up, but I think he would be a great addition to our team. Again, not at 11, but definitely in a second round or potentially a third round if they are available. Kenneth Walker, I think, might go earlier than that, but Breece Hall, I think, will be around for us. Another guy, I think, deeper down the line, Tyler Algier at a BYU. Very mobile, good hands out of the backfield. Played with Zach Wilson a year ago or 2 years ago when he was at BYU. I like what he's got. I'm interested to see how it translates into the NFL, but I think that's somebody that can get us going. Who are you looking at running back? Or is this...
I like that pickup of BYU and his versatility. That's certainly something we should look up. So I'm with you where like we do need to be looking for, I hate to say it, upgrade, but we need to push Gibson a little bit, because while he has the ability, he also is not showing that he can necessarily be that guy, for 3 downs and consistently. And he has major flashes where he's our workhorse, and then some other stuff where we keep seeing he gets tackled by shoestring tackles and stuff. We get all frustrated.
Yeah.
My question is, can we prioritize running back in the second round like that? I agree with you that we need to improve it, but can we do that? Or do we have other holes? And had we not signed J.D. McKissick, then I would say, yeah, actually, we may want to, because we need to be looking at maybe we don't re-sign Gibson, we let him go. But I don't know when we're going to get that running back.
Right.
I do think that they're going to. I think they kind of recognize that. I do think there's been some snippets that they've gotten frustrated with Gibson too. The lack of seeing holes, the lack of breaking stuff that they've opened up for him. And so they're looking at, hey, we need a chance. I'm just trying to figure out how it fits within this roster, which is also why I really was shocked McKissick came back to the team. It's like, you're not already featured as a running back and you're behind someone, so now he came back to be more part of this. Love the Breece Hall mention. Absolutely love that. If he's available somehow, if we can get him, I think that'd be a home run. I like a dude out of Florida, Damian Pierce.
Yeah.
He's from what I've heard is he's one of those guys where he didn't show in college what he can do in the pros, or maybe Florida didn't utilize him, well enough. And so I'm excited to see him. It'll be interesting, Kenneth Walker, because he's in town this week. Apparently we're bringing in the dude from Bama, Robinson, I think it is. Was it Brian Robinson is his name?
Oh, Bijan Robinson.
Yeah, he's coming in for a workout with the I almost said skin.
All right.
Yeah. So
never dies.
Right. So it'd be interesting. I certainly think this is a position they want to improve. I'm honestly just confused as to when, because I think we have other needs earlier. But yeah, I'd like to see us bring in some competition.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's Brian Robinson. And
Brian Robinson.
Yeah. He had a 4.3, 4.5 40.
Really?
So I liked it. Anthony saying Kenneth Brooks is a workhorse for OU. Okay. Yeah. James Cook, a good still small runner, can catch
UGA guy.
Yeah. So definitely. Ab was saying I got Hall before Walker. I can see that, because Hall is more versatile. My opinion, he can catch out of the backfield as well as run up the middle. Algier could slide. It'd be a definitely still at 5th. I think if we can wait, because first and second pick I think are taken as far as more urgent needs, more immediate needs. But definitely if you go down to 4th or 5th, Algier I think will be there. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of these other top tier running backs would be there. James Cook is one of them out of Georgia,
Yeah.
They're more frustrated with his fumbles. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, everyone gets,
So
yeah, I mean, there's always, running backs that slide, and we're sitting here going, huh, what's going on here? So let's hope that happens this year to our advantage, because I don't think we have a 3rd. I don't think we have a 5th. I don't think we have a 6th.
Right. Yeah, we need to figure this thing out, man. But Will, I'm gonna go ahead and come to you to a position that I know both of us have talked about a lot this offseason, even potentially thought about getting the 11th round pick at the wide receiver position. Will, we need it, man, and this is a deep wide receiver draft. Where are you thinking about going, and is it just one draft pick that we dedicate to wide receiver?
Interesting. I am so, this is the position I can't wait to see what we do with.
Yeah.
Because it's to me, to us, to fans, I think we are all clamoring for the number 11 pick to be a receiver. We want one of those 2 guys out of Ohio State. We were interested in Drake London. We're interested in Burks out of Arkansas, I believe. I hope the team's going that way. I don't know if they are. I'll be real honest with you. When at the 11th overall pick, now Ron did go to Ohio State's pro day, and the last couple times he's actually gone to a pro day was when he went to Auburn and drafted Cam Newton, when he went to Stanford and drafted Christian McCaffrey. So he doesn't go to pro days very often. He lets his general managers and scouts do that. So that tells me that he's got his eyes on some things there. So I think we could be leaning towards one of those Ohio State wide receivers. I think it would be good for us, to open up chances for Terry. I also I'll throw it out there. We hope that Terry resigns, but Terry, for business purposes, honestly should tell Washington, I'm not re-signing until I see what Carson Wentz is on the field and what this does for me. So I want him, but for the sake of this man's career, we'll see. So I'm so intrigued by this because I think they should tackle it early, but maybe they go later. I've mentioned this guy's name, Alec Pierce at Cincinnati. He's a big guy.
Yeah.
There's a couple other receivers that, like you said, this is a deep draft. Do we need to get him at 11 or can we wait to the second round? So I want to see improvement. And it needs to be a priority in my opinion. I just don't know when they're going to do it. I'm going to be completely honest with you.
Yeah. And again, this is a place that I can definitely see going early. And Anthony said, I'm seeing Mechie, Jameson, and Pickens going in the first round. Pickens, I don't know. Mechie and Jameson, I could see. I'm wondering how the injury is going to take effect to Jameson's draft stock.
Yeah, I feel like he's going to be one of those guys that goes to Green Bay at the end or Kansas City as a steal because they can let him heal and then deploy him in the second half of the season, and he's going to kill it. Oh, exactly. I don't know why I've seen Mechie slide second and third rounds. I was kind of surprised by that.
Right.
Did he get hurt?
No, I think he got hurt earlier in the year, but he played later through the season. So I
thought he'd be higher too, and I've seen him sliding. I don't know why.
So that's definitely very interesting. Oh, snap. What's up, Ash? How you doing? Oh, and it was your birthday this weekend. Happy birthday, Ash Winton, one of the hosts of Let's Talk Football Ladies Takeover and one of the hosts of Let's Talk Football in the Morning. She's got 2 shows out here.
Wow.
People saying happy birthday. Yeah. No, this is definitely a position that I am like you said, we're both very, very excited about. Obviously, you have the guys from Ohio State, Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, who actually ran a 4.38 and a 4.39 in the 40. You know what I mean? Both of them kind of running off each other. And look, our number one goal needs to be, we need to help to get the pressure off Terry McLaurin. Mm-hmm. We saw last year they had the picture of Terry McLaurin on around. It's the Raiders, and there's 5 people that are dedicated to him because they know that's the only threat that legitimate threat we have. We got to get him help out there. So getting one of those receivers, I love Pierce out of Cincinnati. I also love the guy out of Western Michigan, Sky Moore.
Yeah,
he's somebody that I think could fall into our laps, and I think it's something that definitely could benefit us because we need one of those guys. In Western Michigan, we know who they had, Corey Davis. Yeah. He came from there. So they feed out good wide receivers. Oh yeah,
with PJ Fleck. So if we're drafting receiver at 11, do you have one that you want?
Honestly, I go Garrett Wilson. Okay. If I'm going at 11, I'm going Garrett Wilson. His speed, he's a ball hawk. He goes up after the ball. He's a good route runner. I think he would be great for us, and it would be another one of those Ohio State guys. Our we might be the Commanders as a team. Our wide receiver core is turning into a Buckeyes. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, but look, if they produce, I have no problem with that. Now Samuel has to be healthy, and then bring this guy in. I would have no problem with that. So yeah, that's where I'm going. Would you consider at 11, and who would you look for?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love for them to get someone like that at 11. I don't know, because it's like you said, the 2 guys from Ohio State are represent, I think, a little bit more of the NFL, the speed game, you know. But I also know that Carson Wentz loves his big receivers. He loves to throw those jump balls, you know. So it's like, would that be good for him to have? So that's why I don't know. But I also love that idea that you mentioned. Like, do we have to only get one? Could we be going after two? You know, do we find more ways to give him some weapons?
Yeah.
What is this? What is this Atlanta takeover on
right?
The
yeah,
stage
you
here?
see this? You see this? Sup, Dirty Bird? Oh, my dude, the bird season on the rise. Always a pleasure.
Jeez.
Raise up. Look.
Are you all excited for Marcus Mariota? Baby. That's what I just need to know. Are you ready for Mariota season?
They ain't ready for the season of the A. Look.
Oh,
look,
my gosh.
Hey, producer Sean is coming out, man. Kyle Yacy, Anthony Handy, man, 2022. Do we have a little birds in, a little Dirty Bird podcast? What we talking about, gentlemen? Set it up. Let's go. Look, he said, let me find out they drafting for volleyball. Look, need them big, man. Need them big. Look, yeah. So let's get into. He said, "I'm game." I like it.
Of course,
I like it. So let's move on to another somewhere where we have people in this position, but it's definitely somewhere where we can look at. We've talked about this tight end. This is a place I am very, very interested in. Two guys that I've been talking to you about them for months. Jalen Weidermeyer out of Texas A&M, Charlie Kohler out of Iowa State, both really big guys, a lot of speed, great hands. I mean, that's not, again, this is not a number 11. I'm not getting them at 11. I'm not getting them the second or third, but if they're in, the fourth round and they're sitting there, or the fifth, like I've seen in some mocks, we were talking about that, they fall that far or even farther. Yes, I definitely want to prioritize to get one of those. I think they can be potentially like a Jimmy Graham type where, they're tight end, but then also pressing wide receiver for how they can get up the field and their size. So I definitely like that, but it's not, if we don't get them, it's not going to be the end of the world. Logan Thomas, getting him back healthy, I'm definitely eager to see what he has to offer and if he can get back to that 2020 form. And I also, Bates definitely was a bright surprise that we had last year. And if he can continue with that, he's definitely a blocker and he's sure-handed, get out in the open. So I like what we have, but we did lose Ryan Seals-Jones. You know what I mean? Samus isn't panning out. Who knows what he'll be? I do think we could get one of these guys, and they could be kind of like a Pitts. What are you thinking about this one?
Yeah, I think tight end is and should be a priority for us. Logan Thomas is a great player when he's on the field, and I fully believe he's going to make his way back. But we also got to remember he tore his ACL late in the season. Yep. And the last thing we need him to do is to be trying to rush that back. I know ACL injuries have come so far and they've gone from being career ending to you can come back stronger, and these athletes are coming back, in 6 months time frame, which is kind of nuts. But we don't need him going all in for week one.
Right.
And so therefore, if we don't have him at week one, what are we going to do? And so I think this should be a priority. Ron mentioned that we need to add some playmakers. And I think tight end could be one of them because, like you said, Bates is a good player. He's a solid player, but he ain't going to scare anybody. Right. So I'd like for him to find someone who can add a little bit of wiggle to that team. Now, I love my guy, Jake Ferguson out of Wisconsin.
Let's go.
I'm hoping he slides way down so we can go get him. And I hope maybe he's a little bit quicker than John Bates, but I know he's got real good hands. He's like Chris Cooley. He just catches everything when it gets to him. But I'd also be looking at some of our local boys. The Jelani Woods, I believe his name, out of UVA. He's like 6'7". He's a big dude. He reminds me of the Chargers tight end Donald Parham.
Yeah.
And then Virginia Tech has a tight end too. Name has escaped me, so I'm sorry I don't have it. But I'm with you. I think we need to prioritize this a little bit so that we are ready to help out Carson.
All right. Yeah, I think that's definitely something we need to focus on. Speaking of tight end, Jelani Woods was the second fastest tight end in the draft and the combine. Who the first?
Who's the first one is, Sean? Tell me who's the fastest one.
Mr. Chig Okonkwo out of Maryland. 4.52 speed. Wow, that's pretty nice, man.
Maryland's
doing something out there.
He a Turk. Yeah.
It's good to see Maryland's doing something, all right? Yeah. Let's get it. Let's get it. Yo, we need to move on to, hey, another big position. We've made a number of moves here. Last year, we definitely were able to capitalize in the draft, getting our boy from Texas. The question is, do we continue with that this year? There's a couple guys out there, Lindenbaum is something that we've talked about out of Iowa. Couple Alabama prospects potentially. Was it Rayshawn Green? I can't think of his name. I'll get back to it.
Talk about coming up in the draft?
Yeah, coming up in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just a couple different guys. Who are you looking at? Is this a place that we need to focus on? I'm gonna look up that name real quick.
Okay, I do think we need to prioritize this because I think we need to be looking at who is going to take over for Wes Schweitzer after this season. To continue to go cheaper along the offensive line. This is where, while I would absolutely love if we get some stud receiver at 11, I also would be absolutely ecstatic if we traded back in the first round and had our chance at, I think his name's Kendrick Green, or was able to go after, someone in the second, or if we got a third round pick now, which we don't have, by trading back to prioritize an offensive lineman, a guard. We're going to go after guys with position flex. I mean, that is what Ron Rivera is all about. In fact, he's got that dude from Penn State. I think Rasheed Walker can play tackle, could go inside, could go outside. So wouldn't be surprised there. There's a couple guys that are in town this week that I wouldn't be surprised if they go after. Dude from Oklahoma, I believe, Marquise Hayes.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna put that up real quick.
Okay. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah. So don't be surprised if you see us draft Spencer Burford. I don't know much about him. I can't speak on him, but Ron's draft philosophy really has been he goes after the guys that he interviews, gets a chance to talk to, and brings in and stuff like that. So I wouldn't be surprised, but I do think we need to prioritize line earlier in the draft, somewhere in the middle, sometime to get some guys who could come in and start next year.
Yeah. You're saying Dylan Parham is out there. We're gonna look at that one.
I'm not an expert on offensive linemen.
Yeah, I don't know.
Full honesty.
Yeah. So Spencer Buford, Abe Lucas out of Washington State, Luke Gadik out of Central Michigan. I mean, yeah, that is definitely a place that I definitely like. And as you know, if you follow Washington Football Weekly, I do not shy away from my offensive line. The more protection, the better, baby. The more protection, the better. Works in life too. Come on now. He was saying Parham for a later round pick. Yeah, I think this is definitely a place that we need to take a look at. That's what I was looking at over here. Just a couple guys. A guy that crossed my eye, and shout out to Dylan Walsh, the youngest reporter in the game, who was talking about him. Trevor Penning out of Northern Iowa, 6'7", 325, just a physical freak, very raw. But if we can work him out and kind of get him in there like Cosme, that'd be somebody. But that's the only guy I've been really thinking about. And his size and his mobility is something I'm interested in. But I like my veteran O-lineman. I didn't know to do it.
I'm with you, man. And Northern Iowa, that corn-fed white boy. You can't
go, man.
With the Maulers down there.
They know how to play. They know how to play ball, man. Yeah. They know how to get it done. Let's go. Let's move on to the defensive line. We know who we have. We have Chase and Montez Sweat. We have our guys, Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen in the middle. At D-line, D-line, I'm coupling this in with D-tackle. There's obvious monsters out there, Big Baby Davis, and his counterpart out there at defensive end. There's big guys out there. Not sure we're going to get them early, but do we look at them early? There's a lot of guys in the draft. Where do you value defensive line in this draft?
Early? No.
Yeah.
I don't think we can. But we do need to bring in some depth because we've lost two of our rotational backups, along the defensive line. So absolutely, we need to get some type of D tackle. And I don't have a name for you on that, but we need to get that, and we need to have what happened to Tim Settle happen again, where this guy is a potential second-round pick and he slides to the 5th round. That's what we need to get that. I saw they brought in on that list of people in town this week is Cam Thomas. We talked about him weeks ago. He was he really flashed at the Senior Bowl, and that goes with my theory. If you're from a small school and you show up at stuff and scouts start mentioning your name, that gets my attention, because that's, it's one of those people, all right, well, this dude can play. He may not have played against people, but this dude can play. So again, we need to bring in some talent. It's just, I think this needs to be further down the draft.
Yeah. Kyle said another steal in the draft will be Nick Bonito, probably mid-second. He ran a 4.5 40 out of Oklahoma as an edge rusher, man. So
yeah,
that's definitely something.
Absolutely.
Wyatt is the other guy that was with Big Baby Davis over there in Georgia.
Oh yeah.
He's saying D-line early. I say no. Yeah, no, we were saying later on the draft. He said if you look early for someone online, it would be edge rusher. Right. Now, if a Big Baby Davis were at 11, would you entertain that?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
Okay.
I think we got too much on that line right now. We got other holes. We can't do that.
Yeah. I like that. He said, with amazing D-line in the draft, it would be foolish not to look, in my opinion. There's lots of depth at wide receiver.
It's a good point. It's a very good point of going wide receiver after the 1st round.
Yeah.
That's why I can't wait to see how that unfolds.
It's going to be very interesting. Interesting. We next are going to go at I have outside linebacker here, but I was going to focus on inside.
Oh, yeah, me too. I got my two. All
right, let's go. Let's go right ahead with it.
You go first. You've been passing to me earlier. You go first.
Now, look, at inside, obviously, this guy, you guys have been talking to me about him all off season out of Montana State, Mr. Troy Anderson.
Yes.
I didn't realize this man is a jet, man. He had a 4.4 40 at the combine. And I'm like, wait a minute. Let me go back and watch some Montana State football or something. This guy is quick. He's agile. Like, I'm eager, but I wonder, does somebody like this benefit from the combine, the Senior Bowl, all these games where we're now getting attention, and is he really that good? I mean, I like what I see out of him. Another guy, Christian Harris, I love 4.4. I love fast linebackers, guys that can get to the ball very quick. I talked to you about this other guy out of Wisconsin, my corn-fed boys, Mr. Leo Chanel. I like that.
Yeah.
Chanel, I like that. He's got 4.5. He went 4.5 in the 40. I like those quick guys that can come off the ball hawks, going after things. I love that. So that's kind of where I'm wanting, because of the fact that we need somebody that's going to go sideline to sideline and be able to run and be able to get going. I really like what these guys have to offer. And if we can get that, I would potentially go at 11 for this. If we get a top tier guy, now not look. I am thinking if we can get a top. Now for that, I'm reserving that to Lloyd.
Okay,
you know what I mean. I'm reserving that to Lloyd. I don't even think Nakobe Dean is at that level right now for me. But this would be somewhere as far as the position that I would be focused. But I wouldn't again want to do it twice. But if Lloyd is there, it's like we'd be foolish not to. We've seen how he is, but this is something where we definitely need to take. Period. Inside linebacker is a spot. These guys are the guys I'm looking at. Who are your names? What are you thinking, Will?
Yeah, I mean, this is another one kind of like receiver that I'm curious. What does the team think versus what do we think? Because we are prioritizing this, and we are also but we also prioritize it in free agency, and we did nothing. And we're prioritizing it because they said we need to improve linebacker. We need to get better at middle linebacker. Well, when are we going to get better at middle linebacker? So that's I'm intrigued to see if we go after this early, like you said, round 2. If we early trade back and get into round 3 somehow, well, is that what we can go after? I got my eyes on Anderson too, because it's the ability of like, well, if they can run, it's like I don't want to get at that traditional middle linebacker that has to come off the field because the game is changing. But if that person can run and cover, then maybe maybe there's no more Cole Holcomb next year, as we mentioned. Who knows? The other guy is our dude from Wyoming, Chad Muma. So I'm looking at these small school guys too to see like when are they going to go and if we're going to go after them. But I'm very intrigued by this position and hope that we improve it.
Yeah, absolutely. Ab said inside linebacker I would get a veteran for. He's the quarterback of the defense. At least should be. Yeah.
Is there any more veterans out? I haven't looked at the free agency yet. That's just a question.
Well,
I'm not sure.
That's where we wanted to move up and be more aggressive and get a Wagner. So you can have him here and set the defense in place, and he being that leader. But unfortunately, it's not looking that way. But yeah, let us know if there's some free agents or somebody that we should be looking at because it's looking like he's not going to be looking until after the draft.
Right.
Anthony said, "Bro, did you not see the season for him? Motor for days." Yeah. Field general. Yeah, I know UGA bias, but no denying. If Big Baby and Wyatt were the anchors and N'Kobe was the admiral piloting the ship. Oh, most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely. And I'm not saying like if we were to trade back and get back to 17 or 22 or something like that, and he was there, absolutely I would love to get him.
Yeah, that could come into play. Yeah, you're right.
Right. So I would absolutely love that. But if I'm sticking at 11, the only guy I think I'm going for right now is Greg Lloyd. Greg Lloyd. No, not Greg Lloyd. No, I'm thinking Pittsburgh Steelers.
Right.
Lloyd though, but yeah.
Yeah.
I was watching a video of them earlier. But yeah, that Lloyd is the only one that I'm getting for that early. He said, "Look, Will, there are plenty, bro."
I hope. Let's get somebody.
Let's see. Let's absolutely see. Yo, let's move on to our secondary cornerback. Where are you thinking? I got some guys that I'm looking at, but I'm interested in what your thoughts are, and then I'll lead on safety.
Yeah. So my only wonder is Ron went to Ohio State, and then he went to Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Why is he going to the University of Cincinnati's pro day? Especially if they've got Carson Wentz. Are you looking at Desmond Ridder? Are you looking at any other players? Could he be looking at finding out if this guy slides at 11, do we go corner and go after Gardner?
Yeah.
And get a young guy in there that can play and shut down and provide some versatility and, just give them, who knows if the team is already soured on William Jackson III, and we don't know if they have, but is this someone that could come in and make a play for us and change the different, as we've all been going wide receiver early in offense, is this something that we're able to go defense? So that'll be interesting. That he's about the only name I got right now I'm kind of looking at. So I want to defer to you to you said you got some names. I'll do some research, but I don't have them right now.
So as far as that early pick, you really want to, for me, it's at least like, hold up, let me bring the guys up that I had. There we go. Yeah, we know about the Sauce Gardner, right? Obviously, and another guy I mentioned to you, RIP, shares the name Kobe Bryant. Who can play corner as all safety. Look, the guy's a baller, and the fact that he also was at Cincinnati, so the fact that they went there is interesting to me. If you want to talk about somebody that's raw, I have looked this guy, Derek Stingley Jr.
Yeah,
he's raw, but at the same time, at that position at corner, we would need somebody to come. The guy out of Washington, I mentioned him the last time I was talking. Kyle Gordon scored really high in the combine. He is somebody that's it hasn't gotten looked at as much because he's in the Pac-12. But I think he can come in and definitely help. I want to bring in guys that are going to help us to also move along some of the guys that we have with us, with McTire and how we felt about him, with, you know, Jackson, and kind of get these guys, get that competition going and get these guys moving. And Trent McDuffie's another one out of Washington. There's 2 Washington corners that I focused on. I honestly think these guys really would benefit us, and we could potentially get somebody that might slip a little later and get somebody later in the draft. But if we get one of these, we get an opportunity to get one of these top tier guys at 11. I mean, I think that's a move we have to make.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm with you. I want us to improve a little bit. And yeah, I mean, I don't know whether it's veteran or if it's the draft. I would just love for us to bring in another corner. I'm not satisfied. I definitely did see that stuff they're talking about Stingley, you know, falling to 11. One thing they mentioned was, can he translate in as a not as a cover corner, as a zone corner in the way, or are we running into another William Jackson? The third, but at the same time, then it's like, well, if you've got 2 corners who are good at man coverage, maybe we need to change our style. Then Jack Del Rio, you know, let's play to our strengths, not you know, you play my way.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
The best coaches are able to use who they have and work around that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
What is you and Ab? What is your favorite line about competition? Iron sharpens iron.
Oh, absolutely.
Stingley went up against Jamar Chase every single day at LSU. Like, you got a guy who's tested. So that's the only thing where it's kind of like, all right, well, there's some intrigue there. Well, by all means.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Absolutely. So, hey, this is the spot that I definitely want to, you know, definitely circle on the board and say, hey, let's put some focus on. I'm glad they're talking to some of these guys. Where do we look on that list? We're talking about no corners. We're talking about the safety. We'll see that in a minute. But yeah, but definitely it's interesting. Glad he went to that. Cincinnati has definitely got a great secondary his last couple of years. So that's definitely something I'm interested in.
I love the Ab. I think it's Ab posted inside linebackers that are still available in free agency. And there are some names there that if they've been talking to guys to say, hey, man, after the draft, we'd like to look into, I'm all for that. And being able to not utilize our draft pick on a middle linebacker to go after one of those guys, man, I'm all in. I'm totally for that, including John Bostic. I would absolutely entertain bringing him back.
Right.
Maybe not as just to be our starter. I don't know, but I would certainly bring him back.
I would bring these other guys in.
Quan Alexander. That's the guy I said early on was paying big money.
But look, we talked about Vinoy. You talked about Schubert too. Quan Alexander, Hitchens. These are absolutely thanks for that, Ab. These are absolutely guys that can come in and definitely instill some senior leadership to the team and definitely can help. And they can play good ball as well. You know what I mean? So yeah, I agree. If we could do that, I mean that's the best case scenario, in my opinion. But let's move on to the last group on this list that we need to focus on. This is something that another thing I think we need to put a lot of attention on: safety. Will, there's a lot of big names in here. Where would you go first? And would you go at 11 for this?
Wouldn't go at 11, but I'm absolutely round 2. If we trade back in round 1 and we got a 3rd round pick, round 3, like I want this to be focused on early, because I think that, I mean, it's just, this is the way the game's going, where safety is becoming an even bigger priority. And is it possible to draft a safety instead of an inside linebacker to play that role of Buffalo nickel like we were doing with Landon Collins? So yeah, I'm all in. This is one of my priority positions that I would like to see us improve. I love that dude out of Penn State. Love my boy out of Maryland, Nick Cross. You knew it was coming.
Come on now.
There's also, I heard about a dude out of Baylor. I think the last name is Peter. I might be butchering it.
Jalen Petrie.
Yeah, him. Yeah. So I'd be, I think he has the ability to play either position. So I'm intrigued by safety, and I would love for us to address this and improve. Absolutely.
All right, definitely. And Dax Hill out of Michigan, he was the one that came and visited with us. He was pretty solid this year. Lewis Sign out of Georgia. You know, they didn't get tested as much because that front seven was pretty nasty.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't really get tested until Alabama came into town, but they definitely do. He said Colin could possibly join Dirty Bird podcast. Hey, do your thing, man. Set it up. Set it up. Let's get it. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, Kyle Hamilton, he's probably going to be off the board unless we win at 11. He may fall to 11, but I don't think so. I mean, a lot of people have been looking at him. Definitely like Brisker and Nick Cross. And shout out to, I don't know if you saw Dylan or Colin, Dylan's brother, said the same thing. He said in Pittsburgh, man, he said, I really want Nick Cross, man, out of Maryland. I like that guy. I was like, oh, my goodness.
Colin's got an eye for talent, you know.
I was like, what is this, man? Are y'all paid off? Is he going around paying y'all to say?
I'm telling you, 3 years ago, I said, what the heck is this guy doing signing with Maryland? All right, I'll take him.
Yeah. Right. It's like, it's good. It's good. We got him. Yeah. So, honestly, this is somewhere I think we need to focus on in the first two. Look, oh, here he is right here. I said, hey, love the take so far. I heard Baylor mentioned. I just want to say players from Baylor always pan out, especially when they come here and play. I know you're not talking about what you were talking about on the show.
What's he trying to say?
He's trying to come after RG3 again. He did it on the show. You know what? Out of the comments, buddy. Petrie is more of a box safety to me. I wouldn't waste a second. Interesting.
I read the opposite, that he was a little more flexible, but yeah, who knows?
We shall see.
All I can tell you is I don't have as nearly as much faith in Bobby McCain as they do, but you know, they're the coaches.
Yeah. And I was saying free safety's focus should be Matthew. It should be considered a free agent pick, especially as the last after the draft. Well, the price might go down.
Yeah. Do we really think that he wants to come to DC? I mean, I know he needs to play somewhere, but is he really going to come to DC?
That's somebody that if it gets to July and August and he's still unsigned, then it's like, come pay for us. I'll take a 1-year deal with incentives, of course. Hell, absolutely.
No, you need to tell Colin, you guys need to come up to number 11. This is what I don't care who you want to draft it. I don't care who you drafted 11, I should say, but come on up to 11 and get yourself.
Go ahead, trade.
Get yourself a tackle. Get yourself a quarterback. Give yourself the flexibility. That's what you all need to do.
Come on, just come on and do it. Come on,
trade up.
He said expectations go down every day you aren't signed. Yep, very true. And if he gets that far, if he gets towards training camp, and he still hasn't been signed, yes, we can definitely get him. Hey, let's see. We'll see. But again, it is about wanting to be there because we also could have got Earl Thomas, but not sure if some of the people want to be in Washington. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. Ladies and gentlemen, the draft is 2 weeks away. Stay tuned next week. We are going to break it down. I mean, we might as well just do a draft show, breaking down the picks, where we're going, who we expect, maybe even give us kind of like a full draft perspective, where we go, what picks we get in all the draft. I am excited for it. Johnny Dean on here. What's up, guys? What's up, Johnny? How you doing? He said, y'all talking special teams? I mean, we signed our kicker. We got Cheeseman, I think we're good. So, yeah, we are definitely going to be doing that and bringing you our picks where we feel like we should go in the draft. I'm excited about that because we can talk about it and talk about it and talk about it and talk about it. But at the end of the day, they might go completely far left from where we even thought. Let's remember Dan Snyder is still in charge of this team.
Yep.
He can come off his yacht at any time and make a pick. So let's be very honest with that. But we thank you guys for being with us on this day. And we thank you for joining us on Washington Football Weekly. He said there's a kicker that's legit, bro. Oh, I believe it.
More legit than Joey Sly? Is that possible?
Is there a guy that's better than Joey Sly?
I don't know.
Is there a guy that's better than Joey Sly? Is it? Shut your mouth. So we got to go ahead and he said, punting balls 70 yards type stuff. Okay. Oh,
Jeez.
wow. Oh, well, let me find
Hey, man.
out.
Don't be trying to draft Tressway's replacement. He's our only Pro Bowler.
Come on.
Sleep at night cause I'm thinking about the next day. Thinking like, can it be the best day? She looking like she like the way I dress, I be kicking it like my name is Tressway.
Oh, when you in a rap song, all right, let's go. You the best. Let's get it. Yo, we are with it. Hey, so glad you're here with us. This is Washington Football Weekly.